Hey guys, this is Blue Eyes Master 91, and I thought I would do a couple of test hands for my Blue Eyes Albaz deck, so let's get on into it. So, with this hand, I'm already looking pretty good. What I would likely do first is activate the Branded Fusion spell to go into my Searing Dragon. And I would send Dark Magician and Fallen Albaz to the grave. And set it up in the extra monster zone. With the Searing Dragon's effect, I would discard Ultimate Fusion to use its effect to go into Dragoon by shuffling these two back into the deck. So it's not a great opening hand, but this is the first time I've actually shuffled this deck. Well, before the video started, I was cutting it and doing all I could to try to get more consistency, and it finally started to work once I shuffled for a little bit. Then I would use my trade-in to draw two cards. I'd activate Return of the Dragon Lords to resummon Blue Eyes. Then I would end the turn with a face down. And I would pass. I still have one card in hand here, so I can easily use Dragoon's negation effect to stop my opponent from doing stuff. Then it would be up my turn again. Not something I wanted to see. I would then likely I would attack, likely destroying a monster in defense, and then 6k to the face. Be my opponent's turn. Let's say they try to do something that would board wipe. I would just negate with Dragoon and add a grand to his attack. They would likely pass. It'd be my turn. The nice thing about Ultimate Fusion is that it can be used, or it can use monsters in the graveyard, and they get shuffled back into the deck. So going into Xyz monsters isn't that dangerous. We can attack. We would use his effect. Is that a permanent effect before I do that? No, I wouldn't want to do that, because that is a permanent effect negation. So I would want to attack with Tachyon Dragon, and then I can attack with Dragoon, assuming they have something to stop the first attack. During the main end of the battle phase, I'd have good old Zeus out on the field, and that would be the end of my turn. Our opponents would likely be very, very cautious because they do have 2 cards in hand, so they wouldn't want to activate anything unless they have something more important to activate. They wouldn't want to risk the Dragoon negation in it to go up to 5,000. So it'd be my turn. I would draw. I would reveal to special summon. I would set a monster in defense. I would use his effect to pop a monster on my opponent's side of the field. And then I would attack with Dragoon to destroy whatever monster they may have on the field. And I would pass. I would be a little merciful at this point. It's not like I don't have a breakable board by any means. It's very breakable. It's just very difficult. So they would likely destroy that. And that'd be our turn. And this is where having Dark Magician return to the deck can become a hindrance unless you have a Melody of the Awakening. But at this point in time, this would be game. So let's try another test hand and see what we can do. So let's assume we're going to go second this time. So we would draw for turn. Interesting. I would use Melody of the Awakening, and I would discard Jet Dragon because he can resummon himself. And I would add Blue Eyes an alternative to hand. I'd summon out alternative by revealing. I would use trade-in. Normally I would shuffle it because I'm about to go back into the deck. I didn't. I can go into Protector. Activate the effect, targeting himself to special summon out Blue Eyes. I then can use Ultimate Fusion. To go into alternative Ultimate Dragon. And then I would use Fusion Destiny, utilizing Plasma and Malicious Bane. Or Malicious Edge, sorry. And that would likely end my turn. So then my opponent would go. I can use DP's effect to destroy himself, and let's say our opponent summons something that could possibly beat over it. I can destroy them both, and then it would be my turn again. So I would draw. His effect would activate, allowing him to resummon himself. I can set that face down. Then I can attack with DPE, and then 45. That would end my turn. Our opponent would try to likely summon something. I would use DPE to destroy it. It'd be my turn. I would draw. He'd come back. I'd throw a face down. And I would double attack again, which would eventually lead to game. So the deck is very fluid. It's consistently inconsistent in the sense that some games you'll go into this combination, some games you'll go into Dragoon, some games you might have all three on board. So it all depends on how you start, I guess. But the branded engine, or the albaz engine, I guess is what I've been calling it, allows you to send stuff from deck to grave, which is perfect because Ultimate Fusion allows you to reshuffle those items, or those monsters, which just makes that spell more dangerous. How to use Melody. Blue Eyes, an alternative would be added to hand. That is a very bad starting hand. I can reveal a special summon, and then I can use Trading to draw 2. I can activate Fusion Destiny. There was a way I could likely have used the Ultimate Fusion in my hand to go into Ultimate Dragon on my first turn, had I not used it as discard fodder, but I don't think it really matters that I did that. And then I can use the second copy of Melody to add another alternative, my last alternative, and a second Blue Eyes into my hand. And that would end my turn. So I would use his effect to blow up, to take whatever my opponent has either face up on the field in attack or in their spell and trap zone with it. They'd be likely forced to end their turn. I would draw. He'd be resummoned. And I would summon out my Sage. Adding Stone. I can use Sage. For Link Kuriboh, I can review the special summon out a second copy of Alternative. And then I can use Link Kuriboh and Alternative to go into Verte. I'll pay the 2,000. Send a second copy of Ultimate Fusion to grave. I would utilize the blue as in hand, field, and grave for it. And that would end my turn. And then I can use Phoenix Enforcer's effect. I would use his effect to get rid of my Verte. And whenever my opponent has either on the field in the monster zone or in the spell and trap zone, and then it would be my turn, I would draw. I would normal, send it away to get Link Kuriboh back. I would use Ultimate Dragon to attack and DPE to attack, and then my turn, and then at the end of the turn, my Stone's effect goes off. To get Abyss Dragon. Abyss Dragon's effect would go off to add a Blue Eyes to hand. And that would be my opponent's turn. They would try to attack Link Kuriboh. I'd use his effect. And that would end their turn, more than likely. And then I would use Branded Fusion with Dark Magician and the Fallen of Albaz. And I'm sure you can see where this is going. Goes into Searing Dragon. And then his effect, I would discard a regular Blue Eyes so I can go into Dragoon. Actually, Dragoon would sit in the King Zone, basically. I can then banish to add back to hand to special summon. And that right there is game, no matter how my opponent looks at it. That would be game. So this deck is extremely, extremely versatile. It might take a few minutes to get into a board like this, but once you can get into this board, it gives you plenty of options. You can easily just go and overlay for Tachyon So go into Zeus for an additional beefy board. There's a lot you can do with this deck. It's extremely quick, and in my opinion, it's probably one of my favorite decks that I've made. But that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry, it ran a little longer than usual for test hands, but I just wanted to show you guys how far it can go if needed. So that's it for this video. Go ahead, like, subscribe, leave a comment if you liked the video, and I will catch you guys later. See ya.